All right, thank you for staying with us. Nasarawa State, known for its huge deposit of solid minerals, can now boast of having the largest lithium processing plant in Nigeria, with an average capacity to produce about 4,000 metric tons daily, while acknowledging the potential of lithium to drive Nigeria's economic growth. There have been concerns of communities being violently displaced to facilitate mining operations and the increasing wave of insecurity in the district due to the illegal mining activities. Some mining companies have also been alleged to engage in the indiscriminate disposal of waste in open waters and lands utilized by locals, resulting in pollution. But these are not the only issues. School-age girls, even as young as 12, are now being lured into prostitution with the promise of mobile phones and cash gifts in exchange for sex. Some go as far as absconding their families to live with the miners in the camps they built near the mining site. With all that is going on in Nasarawa State, the question on the lips of many in the region is, what price will they have to pay for the enrichment of a few while miners are smiling? All right, that's the big question on the lips of persons, and we are hoping that our guest in the studio will be able to address this. Joining us to discuss more, and this is the Executive Director, Revlin Development Initiative, Philip Jakpor. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you join us.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure being here.
I can only picture what is going on in my mind's eye, and it's sad. Seeing young girls as young as 12 being used as sex slaves, if I may use that word, because of what is going on. The intention of government, one would say, was novel, seeing that there is a deposit there of lithium, and thought, okay, it was wise to have something such that it can develop that. But taking advantage of the people itself as against what government's intentions are, perhaps you need to paint us a picture of what was seen, because I recall an investigation was said to have been done, and that is where this was discovered.
First things first, like you said, we have to appreciate the fact that the government is looking at other sources of revenue. And the green energy revolution of the government, the green energy revolution of the world, is going to be largely driven by lithium, which is used for the batteries, for electric vehicles. Yeah. Our batteries, our phone batteries, solar panels. But unfortunately, in the race to start the extraction of lithium, which Nigeria has in abundance. Nigeria seems to be blessed with, an abundance of natural resources. And you have lithium in Nasarawa, you have it in Kogi, you have it in Ekiti, you also have it in Cross River, in abundance. But the extraction process itself is not too different from oil extraction. And the same kind of exploitation we see in oil and gas, gradually we have started
in the communities, where this is deposited.
Yes. Unfortunately, the communities most times are not part of the decision making about where to mine or where not to mine. And of course, apart from the environmental crisis, if you go to those places, you still see children as young as even 10 in the minefields. Nobody is monitoring what is happening, despite the fact that we have a mining act. Now, in the case of Nasarawa, which has been in the news in the last few months because of lithium. Yeah. The lithium find has been widely celebrated, good as it is. But we are now seeing these kind of things, like you mentioned. We see in those mining communities, poor communities without access to basics, no roads, electricity, schools. You now have, girls, very young girls, some as young as 12, going to these minefields where they have, these miners, young boys too, and, who are ready to give them money, entice them with phones and things like that. That is what is happening. So our call is that the government should pay real attention to what is happening in the mining communities, especially where lithium, which is supposed to be green, is being mined.
Are you saying that government seemingly has not learned from, communities like the Niger Delta, where we talked about oil exploration, to know what to do when it comes to oversight functions for these kinds of places?
You see, virtually in every mining community in Nigeria today, there's insecurity. In virtually all the community people are telling you that they are not part of the discussions, they are not part of decision making. Now, I want to draw out something.
Is that why we are having these issues?
Yes, of course. The oversight functions that, you see, the Ministry of Solid Minerals came up with the idea of mining marshals. Yeah. It's as a result of these kind of things. But a lot of work has to be done in even bringing the communities into the discussion. Now, the meeting of the president, I think that was 2 weeks ago, with some Chinese mining companies. Yeah. And first of all, let us through this thing. Chinese mining companies are not known to respect the environment or people. It's everywhere, across Africa. It's happening in Zimbabwe. It's happening everywhere. In that discussion, we also did not have community representatives. While the miners were there, the state governor was in that meeting, the Minister of Solid Minerals was there, and the president spoke very well, because the emphasis of the president was on the need for the miners to ensure the communities are not in ruins. Like we currently have. In virtually all the mining communities, it is the same problem. Freshwater sources are polluted. No respect for the environment. And most times the miners go beyond areas allocated for mining.
Why do you think this is happening? Do you think that also that the government is not, either not on the ground to get these reports and understand what's happening, or just deciding not to look at it?
Turning a blind eye.
Yeah.
Well, I think in the past, there was some level of complicity. I make bold to say that. We've also done some work in places like Zamfara. The issue of banditry we are talking about today started with mining. It also started with Chinese companies doing something that was not ideal. Now, I was in Zamfara in 2010 and 11 when we had this lead poison.
Yes.
About 300 or so children died. The real stories did not come out. But some of us who visited those places interrogated people, and what we saw was the origin of the problems there. For instance, when the Chinese came, what they saw was that people were mining, the rocks, they strike the rocks, and there were central places where the rocks are crushed and processed.